President Trump has found the nerve center of this century's evil empire. That was the term that President Ronald Reagan used to describe the Soviet Union, despite warnings from his own aides not to use that descriptor. Those Soviet Marxists and Marxist sympathizers found a new home in Washington, D.C. and in Brussels, where they were greeted with open arms by liberal globalists, meaning that the evil empire is now here beneath our very feet. War was waged quietly and behind the facade of nice-sounding language about democracy and security against anyone who is opposed to this unholy alliance. That's how democracy has come to mean, well, anything but that. Stolen elections, overturned elections, bot elections, national security state interference in elections, locking up political opponents before elections, closing churches, arresting people for praying, unchecked border invasions, inflationary spirals, the rewriting of history, and crippling energy access and economic futures. This has all happened in the US, the UK, Germany, and pretty much everywhere in the West. Now, aside from George Soros, one of the biggest funders of these ills is none other than USAID. Again, like I said, it's right here under our noses, the evil empire. What other Republican, though, has ever dared to run a platform against USAID, much less to take a wrecking ball to it? But President Trump and his new Department of Government Efficiency, headed by Elon Musk. Others took Senator Chuck Schumer's warnings about the spy agencies having 6 ways from Sunday of getting back at anyone who gets in their way, and they bowed their heads in complicit silence. But President Trump already poked that hornet's nest. They executed a color change coup against him in 2020 and then conducted lawfare against him, but he won. So when you come for the king, you best not miss, and Trump is proving that to be the case. USAID personnel received an email telling them not to return to work today. Here's President Trump on the move.
Well, it's been run by a bunch of radical lunatics, and we're getting them out. USAID, run by radical lunatics, and we're getting them out, and then we'll make a decision.
Joining us now to discuss is Mel K, host of the Mel K Show. Mel, thanks for being back tonight.
Oh, thank you for having me. What an amazing turn of events.
I know, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
So as we're talking, though, members of Congress, I'm sure you're aware, are literally protesting in front of the USAID building. We see Democrat Representative Jim McGovern. He's out there and he's apologizing to the agency staff, saying they shouldn't have to put up with any of this. He used stronger language than that. But what do you make of this groveling? Because I haven't seen Democrats in power grovel this much since taking a knee in 2020.
Right. I think that they're terrified for their own hides at this point. We are watching what is coming out. I have for years said that the evil twins of USAID and National Endowment for Democracy have been going around the world using money of we the people to do things that we would never, ever support if we knew about it. Not only does USAID funnel hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars into networks all over the world that have been involved in overthrowing governments, but they've also pulled off multiple times coups, including in the Maidan Revolution in 2014, but in Bolivia, in Cuba, in the old Yugoslavia, in Libya, in Myanmar, you name it, they've been there. And one person that really should have to sit in the hot seat is Samantha Power. She has been running USAID under, obviously, Biden. But remember, she was the UN ambassador under Obama. Her husband is Cass Sunstein, who has been running basically behind the scenes of DHS and Mayorkas, changing all the rules at the border. So the couple known as Samantha Power and Cass Sunstein have been involved in almost everything that has happened in the controlled demolition of America, including Samantha Power signing America and We the People onto Agenda 2030 in 2015 when she was the ambassador to the UN. So when I say they are a global public-private partnership working against America, that is who I'm talking about.
No, definitely. And as you're talking about Samantha Power, I think it's something we reported on this show, but not as many people picked up on. But it's quite scary, right? Leading Ukraine into a war against its neighbor Russia. As you talked about the color change coup, the Maidan Revolution of 2014 that they did to keep provoking tensions with Russia, using their men to bleed Russia. And then we, as in USAID, not we as you and I, Mel, and other conservatives, but of course the global left and those in Washington, D.C., they go in there and then they say, okay, we brought war to your country, unfortunately, but we will rebuild it, in our globalist, transhumanist, technocratic, those dreams, basically. That's what we're going to do to your country.